Hi everyone, welcome back to Null Go. Today is January 1st, 2026. Happy New Year. New Year's Day always feels a bit special. A clean page, a reset, and honestly, it's a good moment to zoom out and ask, what did we learn from AI in 2025 and what's about to change in 2026? Because if 2025 taught us anything, it's that AI isn't just a cool tool anymore. It's becoming part of policy, culture, supply chains, and real-world risk. And today's stories are a perfect snapshot of that. Let's get into the AI news roundup. Story 1. China drafts strict rules to stop AI from promoting harmful or violent behavior. This story is based on Ars Technica, shared via Hacker News AI Topics, published December 31st, 2025. The headline is basically this: China is drafting what's being described as some of the strictest rules aimed at preventing AI systems from encouraging self-harm or violence. I'll keep this at a high level. The direction is that providers may be required to detect high-risk situations, prevent the model from generating harmful content, and increase accountability around how these systems behave. Whether you agree with every detail or not, the signal is clear. Regulators are increasingly treating AI as something that can influence behavior, not just generate text. That means stricter obligations around safety, intervention, and responsibility are going to be a major theme in 2026. Story 2. China's broadcast regulator targets AI magic edits of classics and historical content. This comes from Unwire.hk, published December 31st, 2025. This one is about AI-modified videos, the kind of AI remix content where people take famous works or historical themes and twist them into strange mashups. Unwire reports that China's National Radio and Television Administration is launching an enforcement campaign starting January 1st, 2026, focused on cleaning up AI-generated or AI-modified content that distorts major cultural works and historical topics. The key takeaway: content governance is tightening, and not just for obvious deepfakes, also for cultural and historical narratives. In 2026, expect more rules about labeling, moderation, and what counts as acceptable AI transformation of media. Story 3. Semiconductor self-reliance push. Domestic equipment targets on chip production lines. Also from Unwire.hk, published December 31st, 2025, citing Reuters. This report says China wants chip makers to increase the use of domestically produced manufacturing equipment on production lines, with a target that the domestic share must exceed half. This matters for AI for a simple reason. AI progress is tightly tied to chips, and chips are tied to manufacturing tools. So this is part of the broader geopolitical and industrial strategy shaping what AI hardware is available, where it's built, and how fast capacity can expand. Story 4. Tencent, HY Motion 1.0. Text-to-motion for 3D human movement. This one comes from MarkTechPost AI News, published December 31st, 2025. Tencent released HY Motion 1.0, described as a billion-parameter text-to-motion model. Two terms you'll hear in this story: diffusion transformer, DIT. A diffusion-style generative approach built with transformer architecture. Flow matching, a technique used in some generative systems to learn transformations more smoothly and efficiently. The practical meaning is exciting. You can type a prompt like walk forward and wave for 5 seconds, and the model outputs a motion sequence for a 3D human skeleton that can be used in animation pipelines. This pushes generative AI beyond text and images into full body movement, which is huge for games, virtual humans, film previs, and real-time avatar experiences. And it connects back to regulation too. As motion generation gets more realistic, the line between synthetic and real content gets even blurrier, so content labeling and authenticity will matter more. Story 5. Catching LLM reasoning flaws with automated theorem proving. This is an arXiv paper highlighted via Hacker News AI Topics, published December 31st, 2025. Exposing LLM-generated logical flaws in reasoning via automated theorem proving. Automated theorem proving means using formal logic tools to verify whether reasoning steps actually follow valid rules. The big idea, instead of only checking whether an LLM's final answer looks right, you test whether the reasoning contains invalid jumps, contradictions, or hidden assumptions, using formal methods. This is important because 2025 made one thing obvious. Models can sound confident and still be logically wrong. In 2026, we'll see more LLM plus formal verification approaches, and especially in high-stakes workflows. Story 6. 2025's Reality Check. From Hype to Product. This is from Ars Technica AI, published December 31st, 2025. From Profit to Product, How AI Came Back Down to Earth in 2025. The theme is basically the hype didn't disappear, but the market matured. Companies learned the hard way that shipping AI safely and reliably requires a lot of unglamorous work: evaluation, guardrails, governance, cost control, and integration. In other words, 2025 was the year AI got more real, less prophecy, more product engineering. Story 7. The biggest failures and one success of 2025: supply chains, AI, and the cloud. Also from Ars Technica, published December 31st, 2025. Supply chains, AI, and the cloud. The biggest failures and one success of 2025. This is a year-end reminder that our digital world is tightly coupled. One weak dependency, one compromised supply chain component, or one cloud outage can cascade across products. When AI features become embedded everywhere, those failures hit harder, because AI isn't an optional add-on anymore. It's becoming part of core workflows. So, the 2026 lesson is reliability. Move fast is not enough. Systems need to fail gracefully. Story 8. How to design safer agentic AI systems with LangGraph. This comes from MarkTechPost, published December 31st, 2025. How to design transactional agentic AI systems with LangGraph using two-phase commit, human interrupts, and safe rollbacks. A few terms worth explaining quickly. Two-phase commit, a transaction pattern where you prepare changes first, then commit only after checks pass. Human interrupts. The workflow pauses for a person to review/approve before anything irreversible happens. Safe rollbacks. The system can undo changes if something goes wrong. This is the blueprint for agentic AI that can actually take actions without turning your AI into a runaway automation machine. If 2026 is the year more agents go into production, these patterns will be the difference between useful automation and headline disaster. Story 9. Moonshot AI's reported $500 million Series C. This one is from TechNode China Tech News, published December 31st, 2025. IDG leads $500 million Series C for Moonshot AI, oversubscribed by Alibaba and Tencent. The main point: big money is still flowing into foundation model companies. The reported size of this round signals that investors and major tech players expect long-term competition and long-term returns in the AI platform space. So even as AI comes down to earth operationally, the strategic race is still on. Wrap up. So, to start 2026, here's what today's stories say as a bundle. Regulation is tightening, especially around high-risk content and media authenticity. China is pushing hard on both content governance and chip self-reliance. Generative AI is expanding into motion and embodied digital humans. Researchers are getting more serious about verifying reasoning, not just generating it. And the industry is learning that safety, reliability, and transactional design are not optional. They're the price of deploying agents in the real world. If you want to dig into any topic deeper, all sources are linked in the description. Tell me what you want next. AI regulation, AI deepfake governance, text-to-motion, theorem proving for LLMs, or agentic safety design. Once again, Happy New Year. Wherever you're watching from, I hope 2026 gives you a little more clarity, a little more momentum, and a lot more peace. Thanks for spending the first day of the year with me, and I'll see you in the next one.